over the course of your career, has your husband ever made a stock purchase?
Well, if one thing is clear, it definitely pays to be a politician in the United States. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org. Lots of crazy geopolitical news to get into, as of course we have an official response from Taiwan in a video. This as we will do our best to explain the very complex geopolitical situation unfolding in the world right now, which some people believe is just an attempt to cover up the mess at home. We got some latest comments from Joe Rogan, as well as the latest push by the United Nations and World Economic Forum to guess what? Punish you even more than they already are with their reckless policies that have created this current situation. Yeah, lots to get into, so we're just going to jump right into it, as of course we have the latest bombshell news from UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, that today decided to spend its resources, its time, not on fighting the rising obesity, the rising mental health crisis, the rising amount of poverty happening all over the world, the rising amount of sudden adult death syndrome. No. They decided to spend their resources going after conspiracy theorists that have been batting 100 within the last few years. Literally, almost everything that conspiracy theorists were talking about has virtually been coming true, as many people have noted that conspiracy theories are just, spoiler alert, 6 months ahead of their time. And obviously with the dishonest politicians, media figures, scientific heads that we've been dealing with, a lot of people are led down a path to theorize what's happening because there's an absence of evidence that isn't provided by many of these important figures in our society, with them just basically saying, trust us. And it's the government and media failure to provide accurate information, or just any information at all, that in my opinion is creating the spurring of people to theorize what's going on here. And of course that's not the take that UNESCO took here, as they announced that conspiracy theories can be dangerous as they often target and discriminate against vulnerable groups. You mean vulnerable groups like the poorest people in our society that are being screwed over by World Economic Forum, UN policies, the 2030 vision, that literally are creating one of the largest income wealth gaps in the history of the world. Yeah, are you talking about those vulnerable people which your policies have made more vulnerable as poor people are becoming more poor? UNESCO goes on saying, ignoring scientific evidence. No. We're not the ones ignoring it. We're the ones calling for it, asking for it, and many organizations within the United States fail to provide it, or if they do, they try to hide it from the general public, as the FDA literally tried to hide data from Pfizer all the way up until 2076, which a U.S. judge had to intervene and say no. And this is just one example, not just the FDA, also the CDC, hiding data and information from the general public, which spurs on people to make up theories. People wouldn't be making up theories if people were open, transparent, and just accountable, and actually had liability for the products that were pushed on people, but we don't have that. So if anyone's ignoring the scientific evidence, it's the people hiding it from the general public. And their third allegations from UNESCO is that conspiracy theories, quote, polarize society with serious consequences. This needs to stop. Really? The same conspiracy theories that have been talking about the larger divide and conquer agenda that has been orchestrated and being built up by big tech social media algorithms, by politicians, by the corporate media that is pushing people further on the end of their political spectrums, creating more echo chambers and essentially dividing a nation, since then it could only be easily conquerable, which a vast sum of conspiracy theorists have been speaking out against, while trying to bring people together and stop the fragmentation of our society, which a lot of theorists believe is being done deliberately. Since again, as I mentioned before, a divided nation, undivided people could be more easily conquerable. And this is just the first few sentences from this new UNESCO declaration. And then you could keep going, and it just keeps becoming more Orwellian, more bombastic, and more nonsensical. And truly, if we ever wanted to end conspiracy theories, all we have to do is provide some transparency and accountability to the larger organizations out there that are thriving and profiting off of denying people the access to information. This as today also the UN General Secretary announced that there should be more taxes, specifically on oil and gas, which of course would essentially create more people paying more at the pump. Yeah, because, what's really going to help the poor and middle class is by adding an additional tax on an already highly taxed good and service that they depend on almost every single day. And again, to take this moment and to call for the government to collect more money from the private sector, from the people, that to me, in my opinion, is absolutely immoral, as of course many countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and others have been greatly benefiting from the Great Reset, Build Back Better policies implemented by the Biden administration, which has limited domestic oil production and exploration, created a larger demand for it internationally, and has created an all-time high demand for this particular product. As of course, it's not just the United Nations calling for more taxes and regulations, it's also the World Economic Forum that just released another video demanding that the United States pass a congressional bill that would steal $370 billion from the working people of this country, all in the name of fixing the weather. Yes, again, a proposal that, of course, would tax the energy sector, create more of a higher price for oil and gas, and create more of the same policies that Sri Lanka just imposed that led to total societal collapse. But hey, at least Sri Lanka had a good ESG score. Hey, at least the World Economic Forum was giving Sri Lanka a thumbs up as they were dictating their policies and telling them what to do, as of course they were indebted and had to do what they were asked to do by the big bankers that of course ruined their lives, destroyed their country. All of this on the backdrop of the Spanish government just decreeing that they are now not allowing hotels and private residencies to drop their air conditioning below 80 degrees Fahrenheit this summer. A rule that if they're caught violating could have them pay 600,000 euros in fines. And why are we doing this energy rationing? Well, because there's an energy crisis in Europe, as of course Europe is going through a green revolution while heavily depending on Russian oil and energy that they're still importing into their country. Germany got rid of a lot of their nuclear energy plants for some strange reason, all a part of their green revolution, which has created chaos. All of this as politicians flying on private jets are intervening more and more into your life, trying to tell you what to do with it, imposing mandates and restrictions that only enrich them and screw you over. But remember, it's those crazy conspiracy theorists that you really have to look out for, since they're the true danger, since, of course, you might critically think about what's happening to you, especially when you're drinking through your paper straw, watching the billionaire corporate banking class living above the law. And already, there have created such limitations to language, we have started to create our own platform, since, of course, criticizing this agenda usually leads to your channel being downranked in the algorithm. I have a lot more to say about this, and I can't really say it here on this particular platform. That's why we created LukeUncensored.com, where we're going to have a brand new spanking video ready for you today. We were supposed to have one yesterday. I filmed it, and I've been so busy. I've been so running around. I haven't had time. So there's going to be 2 videos ready for you later on today. Apologies for yesterday's video. I'm going to make up for it. 2 videos for you this week, extra on LukeUncensored.com that you could expect on our own platform. We've been answering a lot of your questions through our forum, a forum only available to members of LukeUncensored.com, where, by the way, we also will be building and creating new t-shirts, new masterclasses, where you guys will be participating with that and also getting rewards for doing so. So lots of amazing, lots of really fun things, lots of one-on-one, personal, creative, awesome, fun projects that we're going to be developing on LukeUncensored.com. Not only just new merchandise, but also figuring out better ways of creating the best versions of ourselves. There's also a way for you to find like-minded individuals in your community. There's a lot of members. Join them right now. A lot of satisfied customers. I think we have one of the best customer support systems out there. It's actually Dave Cahill, my friend, that we hired full-time now to make sure that you guys get everything you guys need from this very personalized experience, all available on LukeUncensored.com. Any problems? Email Dave@wearechange.org. He will fix it, and he's been doing truly an incredible job as we've been hiring people to also be involved in the chat and the forum. And truly, this is the way forward. Our own private platform, get to say and do what we want. New videos almost every single day. 3 masterclasses, exclusive merchandise of only available for members, and new classes, new shirts, new self-help guides, new shopping guides, you name it. We're going to have it all available to you on lukeuncensored.com. See you there right after this video. Oh yeah, just notice, Atlas, what are you, Atlas Couch? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, also, very importantly, the internet has changed a lot of things. Most notably, the way that foreign policy is conducted, as internationally, we are seeing meme videos being made by many countries demonstrating their military might as a form of new saber rattling. This, as in yesterday's video, we covered the video made by the Chinese military. Today, the Taiwanese military has made their own compilation video saying specifically, we don't want to fight, but we will if we have to. And we will, quote, not shy away from one. This, as of course, just moments ago, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House from the United States, just left Taiwan after a very big geopolitical visit that had a lot of ramifications. The Chinese government stood down and didn't take out Pelosi or invade Taiwan, as some of their government officials were threatening to do so. And for a lot of foreign policy experts, this move is a major one that has left a lot of experts bewildered, as of course, a lot of political elites don't want to recognize Taiwan, including, of course, the World Health Organization, that even pretended not to hear questions specifically dealing with that country, and then had a hissy fit when they were confronted about this issue. So obviously, Taiwan has been a very tumultuous issue, leaving a lot of people asking, why now? What's really going on? This, as the Chinese are still trying to do a big military posture, but on the world stage, still look like the ones that have backed down from their threats. This, as the Chinese government has sent 27 warplanes into Chinese airspace. They have now sent forces surrounding their island, a part of a, quote, military exercise. And excuse me, it wasn't their airspace, it was the Taiwanese air defense zone. There's a big difference between the two. This, as the United States is planning their own military war games and drills, with Indonesia, Australia, Japan, and Singapore joining this particular military exercise with 5,000 troops. As of course, the United States with its allies has essentially landlocked China and could anytime and moment absolutely stop all trade from coming in and out of that country through its seas, as of course China is not in a very strong geopolitical location, unlike the United States. And when you look at U.S. allies in the region, they essentially have a very strong geopolitical encirclement of all the waterways surrounding China. China, of course, wants to gain Taiwan as, of course, their official island, since, of course, it would strategically help them fight against this corridor that the United States has set up with its allies and allow them access to the sea if there was a major conflict between the East and the West. Right now, China's landlocked, and it is not in a strong position. With China becoming more prominent on the world stage, it believes that it needs to have Taiwan if it's going to have any chance of any kind of larger military victory. And this is why Taiwan is such an important strategic piece for the Chinese empire. This, as according to Nancy Pelosi, a lot of this is because of her gender, as she is saying that China didn't say anything when U.S. male senators visited the island. Her, of course, being the Speaker of the House makes her a lot more prominent than just U.S. male senators, as of course we're also dealing with one of the richest people in the face of this world that has used insider trading and has been known as an extremely corrupted government official that has benefited herself greatly through her public political position, which was supposed to be serving the people, but is serving her really well at the stock market trades that she's making. This, as she's also known to be a drinker along with her husband, that were just caught in a very big public scandal, as of course Paul Pelosi was caught driving drunk, slurring his words, and, quote, reeking of alcohol, according to police officers that caught him after he crashed his Porsche into another Jeep in California. Very thankfully and very luckily, no lives were lost during this very dangerous, reckless incident that highlights just how above the law the Pelosi's believe that they are. This, as Paul Pelosi has now pleaded not guilty to the charge, and of course we're going to be keeping a close eye on this particular case, as many people expect it to go away. Geopolitically, the United States also just approved more weapons for Saudi Arabia and the UAE, which most likely will be used to continue one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world right now, with the current destruction of Yemen and its population. Now, of course, what's happening between the United States and China is a large larger microcosm of the bigger contentions between the East and the West, including countries like Russia that have announced that they will come to the aid of China if there is a war in Taiwan, as of course the Russians also expect some help from the Chinese when it comes to their situation in Ukraine, another proxy conflict. This, as of course, this flashpoint created by Pelosi really makes you wonder what's going on here. What do you think's going on here? Let me know down in the comment section below. Is it a larger distraction from the domestic issues that have been crippling and destroying the Democrats, especially politically with the upcoming elections, as of course many populist podcasters are even coming out and saying that the Biden administration is just destroying definitions, destroying language for their own political benefit? And are the troubles internationally a way to avoid the troubles domestically? Well, who knows? That's a theory by some. What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. I always appreciate being able to speculate things, being able to theorize things, being able to think things through, which, according to UNESCO, is extremely dangerous. Don't you dare have independent thought. Don't you dare question the corporate media narratives that, of course, lied to you every single day. You better trust the big pharma unaccountable agencies that, of course, have a history of destroying humanity. Yes, those are not my words. Those are the official words from, well, not official, but pretty much what they're trying to say here with trying to stop you from critically think. Don't ever stop doing that. Question everything. Have an open mind. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys having that, being that. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org. One more video right after this one on lukeuncensored.com.